Hi and welcome back to my playthrough of Mansions of Madness. This could be potentially the last episode in this scenario. Let's see how things go, because I believe we have found our final objective here, the attic, and we have to go after this symbol here. There are some monsters, so pretty much 2 cultists waiting for us in the attic. I think this is something that we can deal with. The problem is we really have a whole pile of monsters now on the board, ready to strike again. And right now our weakest link is Gloria here, who has to face 4 monsters on her own, and there is more down there. This deep one here might come to aid them as well. So it's very likely that Gloria will go down first time, and then we'll go down a second time, and then we only have pretty much the rest of the encounter phase in order to solve our mission here. So right now I'm really tempted to basically go after this symbol here first, just to find out if that's the right thing that we need to do. Or if this symbol tells me, hey, there is another, I don't know, Cthulhu coming up and you have to slay him down, then I think I can call it a day anyway. So yeah, I think let's start in the attic. The question is now, should I start with Carson Sinclair and pretty much give Mandy her action, extra action? I think this is what I should be doing, because with his second action then he could still use his King James spike to at least heal Mandy Thompson for another horror. So because she could take some horror hits now, and I think, yeah, let's do that. So he will use his special action, another investigator within range, which he is, may perform 1 action. So let's do that. And again, the idea is to interact with this token here. Before we are allowed to do that, she has to make an evasion, and apparently it's the Vanderbilt priest who we have to evade from, because he has the highest horror. Wow, he has a health of 8. So yeah, let's try to evade. Yes, we want to do that. Vanderbilt waits until your attention is diverted and tries to stab you with a knife. Suffer 2 damage. Okay, that's not too bad. Observation -1 negates. Her observation is of course awesome. So she has a 5. So she's allowed to roll 4 dice now. And we're looking for 2 successes. And yes, she makes it awesome. So let's continue. No, that was all awesome stuff. So we are allowed to interact with this token here. So let's see what we get. A ritual circle is carved into the ground and scattered with components. You attempt to retrieve the ritual components, but a malign energy protects him. Disrupt the ritual. Sounds like a good idea. This is her action. Using your gut and scraps of knowledge you have gathered, you attempt to remove the items without triggering the defensive magic. Okay, you may discard any number of evidence to convert any to... Oh, that's good. So she's carrying 1 evidence. Oh, yeah, she does. That's good. But we're still looking for a law test. And because of the arcane manuscript, we get an extra one. So that's 5 dice for her. Okay, that's not bad at all. And she carries the grotesque stone here. And that's nice. That's really, really nice. So we will definitely get rid of the grotesque stone to move this one to a success. We will also discard 1 clue in order to move this into a success. And those are 4 successes. And that's really not bad. But I have no clue if this will be enough. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's confirm. Carefully performing each step, you remove the components from the ritual circle. Almost immediately, some of the malign energy seems to fade from the air around you. You have put an end to the cult's wild scheme. Gain the ritual components, unique item, then discard this interact token. So it seems we basically traded 1 evidence against another evidence. A collection of eerie objects to be used for some heinous ritual. Okay. Let's also not forget to remove that token. And then we should check what's next. Okay, the investigation is complete. If an investigator escapes the mansion with the ritual components, unique item. Investigators win the game when the investigation is complete. Place an explore token as indicated. Oh, wow. So we basically, this is our proof that the Vanderbilts are for some evil stuff. And if we now move her out and she still has her full 2 actions, okay, that's definitely amazing. Okay, that's really not bad. Good that I chose Carson to be first. The problem is we have still Gloria being our weakling. But okay, we have found the exit. So I guess we simply, quote unquote, have to survive. Okay, that's it. So nothing else would happen. Carson still has one more action left. And it's really a pity that he's not here, because he could try to take out one of those guys. But I think he will now use his King James Bible to pretty much heal one investigator within range to discard one face down horror. That's of course Mandy here. So she's now to 3 horror. She has 5 left. So I think overall that's not bad, to be honest. And this is already the end of his activation. And I think, yeah, we have to continue with Mandy now. She's carrying the ritual components here right now. She's all the way up here in the attic. Then she has to escape from this space, has to move down the attic stairs into the hall and down to the lobby. And there the exit already waits for her. So there is a slight chance we may be able to do that sometime next round, I guess. So again, Mandy has to evade the High Priest here, Mr. Vanderbilt. So let's try to find him. Let's evade again. Yes, let's do that. Vanderbilt aims a vicious kick at your leg. Okay, we need a agility test and 2 successes if you pass. If you fail, and forfeit your action, that would be bad. So now we are only rolling 3 dice and are looking for 2 successes. Wow, she makes it. Wow, she's a star. Okay, she escaped the Vanderbilt grip and will totally move out of here. 1, 2 spaces here. This was her first action, and wow, she's lacking 1 action. Can you believe that? So yeah, she will still use her second action to move 1, 2 spaces down here. And the problem now really is that all of those monsters will now come after her. Wow, this would be bad. It might sound like a stupid idea, but I think our best bet is to get rid of this witch here. She's already pretty shaken. I think she has 3 wounds out of her 4. But she's also closest to Mandy down there. So everything that we can remove here that could get to Mandy is definitely something that we should try to think about, actually. And she will go down, I think, anyway. I'm pretty sure I'm not so lucky again this round. So yeah, I think let's have Gloria attack the witch with a knife here. The good thing is we have our lucky cigarette case, which we basically got from awakening the ghost. So Mrs. Vanderbilt pretty much. I'm not sure if this was a good deal after all, but I think it could still help us getting rid of that witch. So yeah, let's try to attack her here with a bladed weapon. You swing your weapon in a wide arc, intending to strike at your opponent's unprotected side. Okay, we need an agility test of 2 successes. Really happy it's not a strength test, but still we are looking for 2 successes, which is something. And yes, she makes it. Awesome. This was really, really important, I believe. So let's see. If you pass, you catch your foe in the shoulder, badly injuring the arm on that side. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus your test result. Oh, that's 3. Okay, I think that's it. Awesome. So this witch is down, or no more, which could be really so important. She still has an action left. And if she would roll 3 successes and we get a similar result, then she would also be able to get rid of that witch. And I think, yeah, let's go for it. I mean, moving her out doesn't bring us anything. The best we can do is really getting rid, or trying to get rid of those witches there, or those monsters. I think this was really important. Let's attack again. Let's attack again with a bladed weapon. It's not Eldritch Horror, where we can only perform each action only once per turn. So let's do the same thing again. Okay, now we have a strength test. Okay, that's it. Your opponent catches your wrist, your blade stopped mere inches from its flesh. You struggle to press the blade home. A strength test of 2 successes. And I just noticed something. I forgot to give her 1 clue, because at the start of her turn she gains a clue. If she doesn't have one, won't do us any good anyway. So let's roll those 2 dice. This is simply 1 success, so we fail. So which means she could really go down now. And I think we also have to basically shuffle those because of her, what was it? After you perform an attack action, flip one horror face up, squeamish. So this was the first one from the last round. Resolve immediately, no additional effect. Then we have basically failed our test. The second test, that is, if you fail, your muscles quickly tire and your strike is forced aside. Okay, so nothing bad happened here at least. Oh, this is so... if you pass... the monster suffers damage equal to your test roll plus 1. This would have been 3 anyway. Okay, not enough. Okay, nothing bad would happen. The thing is, we have to trigger the squeamish one again and again. I don't know what to shuffle here, what it is. It's again the minor shock. Let's put it face down. I already really forgotten what her second card actually was. Maybe these are 2 of the minor shocks, but I won't check it now. Okay, that was the action of Gloria. And wow, what am I doing, Marcus? I forgot my ruptured eardrum. So her first test would have been only 2 dice. The thing is, she really had 3 dice. She rolled 2 successes and 1 clue. So I will simply give away 1 clue, or will flip down the lucky cigarette case in order to transform that. So I think nothing bad happened here. Really do apologize. That really happens when you have to have a lot of breaks in between your takes or between your episodes, and unfortunately I'm really busy lately. Terribly sorry for that, but I think that's still okay. So, but nothing bad happened here. And this was the end of our investigator phase, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the case. Let's see the mythos phase. When the scream begins, you believe it to be human being crying out in fear. By the time the last echoes die, you can only conclude it is some sort of wild beast, far closer than you would like. Each investigator suffers 1 face down horror. Think that's okay? No, no one gets hurt by that. Most important is that Mandy is still fine. And then all hell is breaking loose. Okay, Vanderbilt moves up to 2 spaces to be adjacent to as many investigators as possible. Then it attacks the investigator in an adjacent space who has suffered the least damage. I think in this case, again, he will not move because he will use an adjacent attack. And again, he cannot get any closer to more than 1 investigator in this case. So I think, yeah, he will stay where he is and will attack Carson. Vanderbilt spits onto the ground and a swarm of putrid eels erupts from around your feet. Nasty. Crawling up your legs and latching onto your flesh. Suffer 2 face down damage and 1 horror. Will -1 negates. And this could be really bad. So he has a will of 3. -1 is 2, but he gets an additional, though he's back at 3 will. And we really have to dodge the face down damage at least. The horror is okay, but the damage will certainly defeat him or wound him. Okay, that's 1. Oh, and he doesn't have any clues whatsoever. No re-roll, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that's bad. So he gets, I think in this case, he can also take the face down damage fully. So yeah, he will use it to dodge the horror. So he gets 1 and 2, which means he's now wounded. You cannot perform the move action more than once each round. And when you have suffered damage equal, so basically if we hit the threshold again, then he is eliminated. But the good news is he is now allowed to basically get rid of all of his face down damage, which is definitely something. Though to an extent, he's fully healed now. And if you suffer the horror, you are overcome by fear, become restrained. And we chose to dodge the horror in this case. Yes, you are overcome by fear, become restrained. So he's not getting restrained, so that's something at least. Let's continue. Then we have the Red Witch. The witch moves up to 2 spaces to be within range of as many investigators as possible. Then it attacks the investigator within range with the most clues. And I think again we can now choose, because the amount of investigators will always be the same. So she could move in here, but she has 1 clue, she carries 1 clue. So I think overall that's not really that big of a deal, I guess. Yeah, I think we can really choose to keep her here. And there's really, I think we don't have to move the witch out now to be, I don't know, out of harm's way here in this case. So let's really say this witch will attack Gloria. And again, I'm interpreting those rules pretty freestyle, so apologies for that. Yeah, the monster will attack Gloria. The witch whispers words perfectly clear in your ears, explaining how everything you thought you understood is pathetic imitation of the truth. Okay, let's do a will test of 2 successes. Her will is a 4. Yep, that's okay. Wow! Wow, she's really amazing. If you pass, you focus on what you know to be true. Become dazed. Okay, that's not the worst thing in the world in this situation. And we already know the dazed condition. You cannot spend clues to convert dice results or perform additional puzzle steps. At the end of her next turn, we can discard this card. The alternatives were really horrible here. So let's continue. It's now the cultist who's in the attic. The cultist moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator, then it attacks the investigator with the highest agility. In this case, that's clear. This guy will move to Carson and will attack. The cultist jabs with a stab. But you catch it. A struggle ensues. Strength has with 2 successes, and it seems he's a relatively strong butler, so 3 dice. It is... Oh, can you believe that? Again, he's out of clues. That's really a pity. If you fail, the cultist elbows you in the gut. Then it uses the newly released staff to crack you across the face. Suffer 1 face-down damage and become dazed and stunned. Okay, that's also not too bad for Carson, who previously fully healed to some extent at least, but now he's wounded, dazed and stunned. It's really not in a good shape. But of course, we are not done yet. Next, it's the deep one. That's the standard one without any symbols, so pretty much the one next to Gloria. The deep one moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. Then it attacks the investigator in its space with the highest agility. Again, that's clearly Gloria. So she will be attacked again. The monster shuffles forward and back, circling you and croaking. Okay, an observation test, and we need 2 successes. Her observation is still 4. Yes, wow, she's so amazing. If you pass, you realize that it is attempting to lure you into a crude trap. Okay, nothing worse will happen here, or nothing bad will happen here. Perfect. And then we have the green deep one. Okay, that's now could be a problem, because that's the one who can definitely reach Mandy here. The deep one moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. Yeah, that's clearly. Then it attacks the investigator in its space who has suffered the least damage. Again, that can only be Mandy. So let's move this guy 1, 2 spaces out here. And that's now really a problem, because now she cannot interact with this thing without evading that fellow. Oh, that's bad. But yeah, of course, it had to happen, I believe. So yeah, the monster will attack. Leaping with frog-like agility, the deep one manages to get around behind you and above you before attacking with sharp tail on spread. Suffer 2 damage, and strength -1 would negate. Oh, wow, her strength is 1. So the best that can happen is that she will dodge 1 wound. And should we do that? No, I think we will not spend the clue here. We really need it later on maybe to evade that monster, which is still tough enough, I believe. So yeah, she will simply get 2 damage. Oh, that's bad. 1 and 2. So let's see what it is. A gut shot. All the breath leaves your body in whoosh as the blow catches you in the stomach. You wheeze and gasp for air. Resolve immediately. Become stunned. Then discard this card. Oh, are you kidding me? Wow, that's bad. Stunned is really bad for us. I will get the conditionals because we can only do 1 action the next round. Ah, that's so bad. And the second one is grievous injury. The pain clouds your vision and sends you staggering. Suffer 1 additional face down damage, then flip this card face down. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. So she's now at 3 out of 6, but stunned is really bad. And of course, we are still not done yet. The deep one, that's the purple one, moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. Then it attacks the investigator in its space who has suffered the least damage. Ah, and I think this is something I forgot to correct from the last episode. Oh yeah, I really had a mental note. I think this guy should be actually here. He moved 2 spaces earlier in the last episode, so now he's here. Right now, that's still not that big of a problem. 1, 2 spaces, 1, 2 spaces, 1, 2 spaces. So I get to choose now the nearest toward the nearest investigator. Who should we get it to? I think really let's send this guy to Gloria 2, I believe, because Carson, if he gets hit really badly and then he will be defeated, or I don't know, devoured, eliminated, I think eliminated, then this is not what we should do. So yeah, let's move this guy 1, 2 spaces into Gloria's space here too. Wow, that's really kind of a party. And now I'm really sure that she will go down. The deep one sinks its horrible teeth into your shoulder. A strength test of 2. And as we all know, she only rolls 2 dice here. And this time she's out of luck. Awesome. I already saw something there, but was not good enough. So she failed, which means the creature's savage tearing throws you off balance. Suffer 2 face down damage and become dazed. She already is dazed, so that's not that big of a deal. But the 2 face down damage will definitely wound her. I think she's now at 8, so we will discard all of her face down wound cards. Unfortunately, she keeps all the face up one, and yeah, she's now also wounded. So we're going down like flies, it seems. So let's continue. And last but not least, we have the ghost. And I think in this round, really all of those have activated, but this could be true because I got rid of one of those witches here. The ghost moves 1 space toward the nearest investigator, then attacks the investigator in its space with the lowest strength. Apparently, Gloria gets hit again. The spirit reaches out to caress your face. So 2. So now we have to remember our ruptured eardrum. And again, we need 2 successes. So we will roll 2 dice. And this time she makes it. And yes, I will totally spend that clue because she gets it back in order to transform this into a success. Nicely done. If you pass, you leap backward, barely avoiding its touch. Okay, that's nice. Let's continue. And I think now we have to make a horror check against the monster within range with the highest horror rating after. Okay. Let's start with Gloria. And again, that's clearly the ghost, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, let's do the horror check for Gloria here. The spirit coughs and stumbles about. Someone open the door, it wheezes. Let me out. The spirit is slowly overtaken by fire. You can feel your own flesh begin to grow hot. A will test of 2, and I believe that's pretty much the only test where she doesn't get any penalties. So yeah, she will roll 4 dice now. And oh, awfully close. She didn't make it and we are out of clues. That's really unfortunate. If you fail, the fire becomes real. Place fire in your space. Oh, come on. Then suffer 1 face down damage and 1 horror. That's bad. Okay. For a quick second, I thought we might survive or do this scenario without any fire tokens. Again, for me, that seems to be a very, very weak balancing mechanic. So it's a timer, I guess, of some sort. If you're too slow, then something terrible will happen. Okay, but she still gets 1 face down damage and 1 horror. So here's the face down damage. Unfortunately, the horror is face up, and that's absolute terror. You make a very small noise somewhere in the back of your throat. You find that you are weeping silently. Suffer 1 additional face down horror, then flip this card face down. Okay, that's something that she should be able to survive too. So she's now at 5 out of 7. Also coming closer to madness. Then let's do the greenish one and Mandy down there in the lobby. Yeah, let's resolve horror check. The deep one's gills flare and its musculature seems to ripple beneath its wet, scaly flesh. It begins to slam and claw the ground in the fury. Suffer 2 horror and will would negate. So she's rolling 3 dice for her will, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's certainly good enough. And then it's Carson and he has to face the Vanderbilt himself. Yeah, because he's also in range. Vanderbilt rolls up a sleeve to reveal row upon row of fish hooks, oh wow, that are buried in pallid fishy flesh, forming an obscene sigil. Suffer 2 face down horror and will -1 negates. So again, he will roll 3 dice because this will even things out. The king, no, it's the Holy Cross in this case. So we are looking for 2 successes ideally. And no, of course not. He's really not doing well. So 1 and 2. So he's at 5. And 1 more. He's going mad too. I'm going slightly mad. But I believe that's it for the horror check. Yes, let's end the mythos phase. Let's move into the investigative phase. And now it's really, really, really a pity that Mandy is being stunned. And I think, yeah, let's totally try to interact with this door anyway. She only has 1 action because of the stunned condition. You cannot perform more than a single action during your turn. But then we can discard. Yeah, let's totally try it. So she has to evade from the, what is it? The greenish one. Yes. Let's do an evade check. Yes, let's confirm. A hideous gurgling click sounds from the creature's distended mouth whenever you make the slightest move. The deep ones, filmy eyes rotate to follow you. Suffer 2 face down horror and will +1 negates. If you suffer 1 or more horror, you find the creature's attention too unsettling to move. Forfeit your action. Okay, wow, we have to really make it now. So we really need 2 successes here. Good thing is we have 1 clue left. And yes, 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 she made it. Wow, that's so awesome. So yeah, let's close the monster drawer. Let's do the thing here. The mansion's front door is just in front of you. The investigation is complete. If an investigator escapes the mansion with the ritual component's unique item, she has that. Investigators win the game when the investigation is complete. You can escape only if you have the ritual component's unique item. And yes, she totally carries it. And with her 1 and only action, she wants to escape. You throw open the door and flee into the night, carrying the proof of Vanderbilt's heinous crimes with you. The investigation is complete. Each investigator wins the game unless an effect, such as an insane condition, specifies otherwise. No, we are not. Didn't went insane. And yeah, let's continue.
You burst through the front door of the mansion and run for your vehicle, desperately clutching the components from the ritual site. Incontrovertible evidence of the cult and proof of their connection to the disappearances. Your vehicle sputters and slides as you accelerate down the uneven drive. If you can make it to the police department alive, the cult will surely be destroyed. You smash through the gates at the end of the drive and careen out into the road, leaving the Vanderbilt estate far behind you.
And yes, definitely a much better voice artist that I could ever be. So yeah, let's basically the end. We have won this scenario. How amazing. What a ride. And really kudos to Gloria here. She really survived, I don't know, waves of attackers before she really went down to be wounded and still was able to pretty much protect Mandy from more bad stuff from happening. Really, really an amazing job, Gloria. I really hope you enjoyed my little playthrough of Mansions of Madness here. I really hope I haven't messed things up too terribly in this one. I really forgot a lot of conditions and this deep one here, but I think I was able to catch most of the stuff while playing. So I think I'm still good. If you think otherwise, let me know. Then I consider this as a defeat right now. I'm pretty happy camper. I think this is really the for first or second time I really won the scenario. Apparently that's the most easiest one. So I think, yeah, apparently you are supposed to win it, but usually I'm really doing very, very bad. Anyway, again, I really hope you enjoyed my little playthrough here. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And yeah, until then, bye bye.